Now, once you have enough money, you will discover, as I have, that money is not that important. Right? Money is very important, though, if you don't have enough of it. Right? If you don't have basic security, then money becomes the most important thing. So I want to go over the equation of money at Medicino and compare it to a typical job, perhaps in the Philippines. So let's just say that you make 15,000 pesos in your factory, in your current work. Maybe more, maybe less, but let's just say you make 15,000 pesos as a salary. Now, deducted from this then is perhaps 3,000 pesos or more for rent. Then you have maybe another 3,000 pesos for food. Then you have your cell phone bill. Maybe that's another 1,000 pesos. Then you have some clothes. Maybe you have a medical emergency or a medical expense. Then some miscellaneous. So let's just say there's another 2,000 pesos for that. Well, most jobs do not teach you a lot about health and business, etc. But let's just look at this situation here. So we have 15,000 minus 9,000 leaves a profit of 6,000 pesos. So if this was correct, you would be able to save 6,000 pesos a month. Or maybe you have to buy a motorbike to transport to work and stuff. So maybe that goes down to 5,000 pesos. So if you are saving 5,000 pesos a month, and you've been doing that for a while, then bravo, you should have maybe 50 or 100,000 pesos in the bank. That's good. But this is not the case for most Filipinos. Now, I want to compare that with Medicina, because the other thing that's common here is for you to be spending maybe 50 hours a week, 50 hours a week, learning, basic skills, but not necessarily enjoying that much of the work, not necessarily learning life skills. And your education is actually the most important thing. If you had the knowledge that I've learned from reading 700 books and hiring many teachers and taking hundreds of courses and different life skills and 30 years of business experience, if you had that knowledge, the knowledge that I've spent 15 million pesos earning over the years with experience, you could start your own business and start creating a quality of life and start making more money almost immediately. It is very valuable having knowledge. Now at Medicino, we will be paying you the same 15,000 pesos, roughly. However, you will not have any food expense. All organic food is included, so 0. You will not have any rent expense. You will have a much nicer space than you could comfortably rent in an apartment, for example, and 0 cost. You have 0 cost of transportation. Don't need to have a motorbike, and there will be a community vehicle, car and truck, etc., that you can use if you get your driver's license. There's no cell phone bill, right? And the electricity, the utilities, the internet, etc., is all provided. There's also no medical expenses. You've got medical insurance. And so rather than having 5,000 or 6,000 pesos left over, you have 15,000 pesos in savings. In other words, you can save 2 or 3 times faster. Now, in addition to this money being spent here, you've got training in life skills in business. You've got fewer hours. Rather than working 50 hours a week, you're working maybe 30 hours a week, and then you're studying and doing activities that help grow your well-being, another 15 or 20 hours a week, right? So you're making the same amount of money, but you're working less, but you have time to do art. You have time to read books on psychology. You have time to participate in workshops about relationships, right? You have time to learn new skills. So the education is incredibly valuable. It's worth at least 5,000 pesos a month, which means then it's a 20,000 peso salary. But because you don't have all of these expenses, it's really 25,000 pesos of salary. But in addition, you get world and life experiences. Part of growing up, part of learning is to spend time in different places and gain perspective. So the 60 or 70,000 pesos airplane ticket to take you out of the Philippines into a very beautiful country, Costa Rica, that's also included. Right? So you have a chance to travel. You have a chance to grow. You have a chance to double your net profit and have more time for your growth. If you also have the opportunity, most jobs you must separate from a child. Now, if you have a child that's, let's say, over the age of 3, so that it's not 100% dependent, you can either come as a family, meaning the husband, the wife, and a child. You have the chance to work as a family, or you have the chance to bring one child as a single mother, as long as they're at least over the age of 3, so that you have time to do some work. Depending on the situation, right? Depending on your skills, etc., that may or may not affect some of your salary, but your child can be housed and eat organic food, right? And grow up in a very safe and healthy place. So that is a possibility that you don't have in many other job type situations. And there's one more thing. The work that we're doing is not only to help our ecology, our planet, a better environment. That's why we eat organic food, for example, and grow a lot of our own food. But also is to help with free education. And so one of the things that you're going to have the opportunity to do is make videos in Tagalog and broadcast those into the Philippines about what you're learning in a way that helps other people. Right? So this is a nonprofit NGO project. You will, of course, be perhaps doubling your salary, but the goal of this project is to help other people. And that's not the case in many factory and basic income jobs. Additionally, you should be in better health, getting enough sunlight, being in the outdoor environment, staying away from gas, not having any traffic in your life, not having loud noises, being in a low crime environment. So the profits are not just financial, but I did want to go over these calculations with you so that you understand how at Medicina, at the end of the year, you may have 150,000 pesos in savings, which is not typically the case for most Filipinos. All right, thank you. And feel free to apply below if this is a good job for you.